Hey everyone, I wanted to share a dream with you that I feel like applies to this time that we're living in right now. Last Monday morning, it was March 16th, I had a dream early in the morning, and the dream was basically this. I was outside, similar to what I am right now, in some tall grass, and from my left approached two large creatures like I've never seen before. The first one, it was very large. It looked like it was half lion, half dog. That's the best way I can describe it. It was nothing like God had created or anything that I've seen in nature. It was unique. The coat was wavy and it just felt synthetic to me, the whole creature, yet it was alive and moving, and there was a fierceness about it. Right behind the first one was a second one. The same type of creature, half lion, half dog type of creature, and the back half of this animal was deteriorating or withered from the midsection through its tail. They went right by me. I shouted at them and they didn't turn, they didn't stop, they kept going, and they were moving toward a house. And I felt, as you know things in a dream, that there were people in the house that I was responsible for, that I cared about. And so I ran around these two creatures as they're walking with like an agenda, and I got in between them and the house. And the next thing that I knew, I was confronting them. I don't remember getting bit or attacked in any way, but I looked down and my wrist was bleeding profusely from my hand or my wrist. And so I started to apply pressure with my left hand to try and stop the bleeding. I'm trying to figure out where to stop it, and the dream is over. Simple dream. I woke up, I wasn't quite sure if it meant anything, but as I prayed about it, some things came to me. It says in Genesis chapter 40, verse 8, that interpretations belong to God. And so I've been asking the Lord for an interpretation of this, and I feel like He's given me some insight into it. So the first part, these two creatures, half lion, half dog. When I woke up, I just Googled half dog, half lion, and what popped up were Chinese foo dogs, which I was unfamiliar with. Although when the picture came with it, I had seen those before somewhere. They always come in twos, interestingly enough. They are statues, type of thing, made out of stone. People use them. They're mythical creatures that are, I think, from Buddhism, and people use them in front of their homes to protect the home. One of the creatures, dogs, foo dogs, has its paw over the whole globe, which is interesting to me. And so when I saw that, it felt to me that what I was seeing represented the coronavirus. And so that was the first part. The second part was when I confronted and got between them, what happened to me was that I started to bleed profusely. And my focus then was to try and stop the bleeding. And so this was the second part that I felt like is related to this, that as this virus comes through, that almost more than the damage it will do to lives, particularly I'm going to say in America, I think the damage will be done to the economy. And it will be, the stop the bleeding, which is what I was doing, is an idiom that we use regularly in our country, having to do with financial loss. And so it makes sense that as they came through, bleeding happened, and then we're trying to stop that. And that is exactly what is going on right now with our economy, with the finances, the stock market tanking, a lot of things, businesses not being able to operate. And then the third part that I felt from this was that I don't normally share anything related to timing. It's the hardest thing related to interpretation for any type of revelation, whether it's dreams or visions. But in this, as I prayed about it, I felt like there was something to do with timing related to these creatures. And I feel like the first one represents a full month where it is fierce, it is strong, and it goes through. The second one right behind it basically was strong, was normal, fierce on the first half. In the second half, it started to wither or to tail off in a sense. And so I have this feeling, the sense that perhaps, hopefully we're right on this, that this is the coronavirus in America, at least. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but at least where I live, that we've got 6 weeks of it having a strength and a fierceness before it starts to tail off, before it starts to wither and starts to dissipate. And so that would take us, I had the dream on the 16th. My guess is, maybe around May 1st, we will begin to see a real curtailing of this, the power, the fierceness of this virus, and it will be decimated, hopefully, and disappear. So that is what I was feeling from this. Wanted to share that with you. And I think primarily for this, oftentimes with revelation, with dreams, it's not that these things are going to happen when you see something, particularly in a dream. It's that we have an opportunity to intercede and pray and change it. And so the stopping the bleeding part, which is what I was focused on, is what I believe is supposed to be a focus of our prayer as the coronavirus passes through. It's that we are to pray and engage with putting pressure, in a sense, in prayer on the bleeding, and ask the Lord for help to stop the bleeding, to stop the bloodletting, in a sense, of the finances for our nation. And so let's pray together. If you'll agree with me, that's what I'm going to be praying for, that would be stopped, and that this virus would move on through quickly, be done. We want to all continue to pray against that as well, and for lives. Pray for all the healthcare workers who are involved in helping so many people. To pray also for those who contract the virus, for their health, that they would not die, that it would go through quickly. And so we want to ask the Lord for help with that too. So I see this as an invitation for us to engage and agree with heaven to be a part of stopping what the enemy has planned. And the Lord is so good at taking what the enemy meant for evil and turning it into good. I think we're going to see great good at the same time through this thing, and we're going to learn a lot as well. So just wanted to share that today. Have a wonderful day and week, and let's keep praying together. Thank you.